Hi there, welcome to Wyckoff Technical Analysis session for Bitcoin Cash. If you're new to my sessions, here are the 3 key takeaways you can expect from the session. So let's start with the weekly chart of Bitcoin Cash. Currently, this week, as of this moment, the price of Bitcoin Cash is still showing signs of a more or less equal strength battlefield between the bulls and the bears. We see the long wick and long, like on both ends basically, head and tail, with a very short candlestick body, meaning the bulls and the bears are pushing the price, squeezing it around this narrow range. So compared to last week, where quite a bit of buying come from the rebound from the orange key level of 450. So when the price tried to hit that low point, similar to what happened back in mid-October, that sign of weakness, the buying from that point was much stronger compared to that particular day. But this doesn't mean this is the end. I'm still keeping the view of a higher possibility for the price to come down, potentially to a new accumulation cycle, compared to this slimmer chance of getting to challenge the green key level of 615. Alright, so we may see another LPSY, meaning a little bit of bounce towards the 550 yellow key level before it comes down to challenge the orange. That may be another sign of weakness before it actually comes to the accumulation cycle. So what I mean is it can have a little bump and then come down, or come to the sign of weakness first and then have the bump before it enters the accumulation cycle. Okay, those are the possibilities, not necessarily coming straight down from that point, which it kind of did it like that after the first LPSY back in January this year. You see, we already had 2 LPSYs. Last time we only had 1 after the buying climax. So there's also already a little bit of difference. Okay, so back to here. If this really happens in this way, is there any big breakout timing that the charts are telling us? We won't be able to tell from this point. It looks like there isn't an obvious trend from the weekly. But in the daily, started from mid-September, it actually is a gradual downtrend. So the trend changed from the uptrend that started in April, that got all the way through the summer. During mid-September, that's where the uptrend turned into a gradual downtrend. As of this moment, when the price challenged the yellow key level of around 530 in the past 3 days, you see actually 4 days, November 10th, 11, 12, 13, all got heavy rejection. Alright, so we are potentially seeing another LPSY after the one in late October. And like I said, similarly to the weekly, we may be seeing another sign of weakness before the price gets into the preliminary support. So what I'm saying is, it's probably coming down here around or near the orange, and then bounce back to the ceiling of this channel box before it comes down to the accumulation. So that's one way it can happen. However, I did ask the question just now, is there any breakout time point? And there is. Look at this line over here. It's a bit dark, so I'm going to make it brighter. It's extended from the low point of the PSY period back in June. Alright, so also the LPSY and automatic reaction plus another PSY, all the way back to beginning of this year as well as end of last year. So this is a relatively, let's say, it's not as strong as the key levels, but still strong enough for us to take a reference. when we take a look at the candlesticks over here, you can see the price drops. Clearly pause or bounces from that level, or these candlesticks got rejection from this level. So it's still a good reference, and it is pointing to December 13, meaning if the price or the candlesticks continues to travel along this triangle, eventually by the middle of next month, sometimes between now and then, within these about 30 days, a breakout would happen. If it breaks the ceiling, that means this downtrend is going to change. If it breaks towards the downside, breaking this intermediate support level, that's not a surprise, because I already mentioned the downtrend started in mid-September and it's just continuing with the downtrend. It has already bounced off the two edges for quite a number of times already. So we have the initial start in mid-September, and then that's one bounce, two bounce, three bounce, four bounce, fifth for just the ceiling and the bottom, and then the middle there were two times already. So that's how we use these channel boxes, or I call it another name, the air hockey table, because you can easily visualize it. It's basically the puck bouncing between the three lines. Alright, so this is where things would potentially happen. While there's still a bit of a chance for it to bounce up, because it's basically hasn't entered the accumulation zone yet. However, given the sentiment across the board, it's not quite optimistic for Bitcoin Cash to be able to break out by itself, especially when Bitcoin is getting weaker as well. Alright, so thanks for joining me. See you in